IT and digital marketing guru and SBMS mentor Peter Topping has been addressing the key challenges that traders have experienced and providing you with tips and marketing tasks that's for your benefit to grow your digital footprints. As this year comes to a close, it's time for a wrap. So let's hand over to Peter to wrap up those footprints left throughout the year. Welcome, Peter, and thank you once again for coming on board.
Thank you, Madalen. It's always good to be here. I look forward to it. It's the last one of the year. So the Christmas wrap, I know that for traders, it's not actually a Christmas wrap, but for marketing people, they're in their last 2 weeks of countdown and preparation for Christmas sales, whereas traders are just really getting stuck into the hard work of the next probably about 15 days. So although I'm having a Christmas wrap, I understand that that for you, that's not necessarily the same thing. I guess I wanted to start by saying a few thanks, and obviously Madalen and Ross for giving me the opportunity to do this. It's not what I ever expected to be doing in 2022, so thank you very much. And also I think thanks to QVM because they understand that digital is an important topic and it's a complex topic, and that they need to do everything they can to help the trader base with their skills. I also wanted to say thank you to lots of the interesting traders that I've met throughout the project who've asked me interesting and unusual and challenging questions. And I also wanted to thank those of you brave enough to ask a question on Zoom, which isn't always easy to do, to stick your hand up and, you know, and ask a question about something that you might feel embarrassed about or uncomfortable or think that you should know as a business leader. And so well done. And obviously thanks to Google and Facebook for keeping me in business, or as we say, busying me up. And a few times I have slipped into my bad English, like closing things off and busying me up. But I've made my best efforts to sound intelligent. In our series, when I was thinking about it and discussing it with Madalen, what we've really tried to focus on is doing stuff that's free, that's doable, that we think is important, and also being informative. And that really acknowledges that traders don't have a marketing department, and traders don't have a lot of time, and also traders aren't IT experts, and everything according to the media is important. So really I've just tried to focus on keeping you up to date with some of the changes, and then is it free, is it doable, and is it important, have been the kind of mantras that I've tried to structure some of the sessions around, and I hope that I've succeeded in that particular era. Whoops, I've just gone through one screen. So what I mean by that in English is when I thought about digital marketing, and I've got some experience in digital marketing, so I had to kind of scale back my ideas and try and think of it from the point of view of a small business, right? What do you need to know that's important that does not cost any money, right? That's what it was. When I used to write slides and I think, oh no, that would cost money, or we need an expert to do that, then that meant that was an indicator that I had to take that bit out or rethink that, because small businesses and traders don't always have money to spend on digital marketing, and we acknowledge that as one of the key challenges. So the other thing that we've really tried to focus on week in, week out, or month in, month out, is any action, no matter how small, is 100% better than no action, right? And of all the time that you spend procrastinating and having anxiety, is probably better spent just doing a tiny, tiny minor task in your digital marketing suite of things to do. You can never get through the list. It's never ending, so you can just work on it. It's a case of just keeping on, keeping on. As the enemy of small business, marketing is always doing nothing, or over-researching, or overthinking, or reading too much in the press about what you should and shouldn't be doing it. So anything is better than nothing. That's one of the things that we've tried to say, you know, regularly throughout these sessions. Each week I've also tried to tie the model to a structure, and that's a structure both for me and Madalen and QVM and SBMS, right? But also to help you think about how you should do things. And each week that has started with what's QVM doing and how can we leverage what they're doing nationally and what they're doing locally. And there's lots of stuff that QVM does that we can use that's free, that's really good quality, and that will help us build our content offer. And it doesn't matter if other people are doing it, because it's what you're doing that counts, not necessarily what other people are doing. And I think they're doing a great job. They've had huge numbers, but the evidence is that the challenges have been met because the numbers are back. And this, in the last session, I found out that QVM had an audience of 500,000 or 500,000 people. You know, we live in a state of 6 million people. 500,000 audience is a huge amount, and that audience is free for traders to leverage. So I was really keen that we got out there and recycled some of the information that they've said and applied those images that they provide us, the titles they provide us, and things like that to our social media content in order to build a presence online with quality content. So generally, I've started with QVM, looked at what we can do for free, and then we've gone on to address a topic, and that topic has got to be informative, free, doable, and and I think relevant at the time. So hopefully, again, that's something that we've succeeded on. So when we've looked at the key challenges that we're facing with small sort of traders, we've tried to look at what's separating out the nonsense, right, and facts in digital, because it's one of those sort of things where there's a lot of hubris and it creates a lot of press. Okay, one of the key things for us is what applies to a small business. What applies to a QVM traders is they're not DJs, they're not Kmart, they're not Woolworths, and they're not operations of that scale. When you read a lot of commentary, it's really about big business. So the other thing we've tried to address is what can we say on social media without being boring? I can't afford a media plan. So I know that traders can't afford to write complex media plans. They can't afford to have complex marketing organizations. So what we've done, especially with the QVM stuff, is try and get you to think about creating free content. There's lots of content out there, and you never have to pay for anything if you're open to the idea of not just putting sales information on your social media content. And so that's why we've gone with the different demographics, for some of the activities that QVM have laid on. The other thing we've tried to think about is what's the minimum that you can do, and that might be an odd sort of thing, but it also acknowledges that you're short of time and that you don't have a lot of time. You've got a business to run, you've got a family, and you've got inventory, you've got all of the things that you've got to do along with accounting and stock management and staff turnover and all of those sort of things. And lastly, how do we keep up with changes with Google and Facebook? What's important. And really, that's just been a case of me downloading knowledge that I have from being in touch with what's going on in the organization. So the other things we've looked at is SEO versus paid ads. We've also looked at, when we've looked at SEO, I've tried to focus on things that you can do. And so I've focused on stuff that you can do on your page, meta tags, meta descriptions, title tags, adding alt tags to images, having a call to action, having enough text, that sort of stuff, rather than the other kinds of SEO, which is link building and stuff like that, that server speed and mobile delivery and stuff like that. I've tried to really focus on practical things. We also did the sessions on writing a basic Google and Facebook ad, sessions on getting your getting your inventory online through the Google Merchant Center, which a lot of people find a little bit challenging. And then we've talked a lot about how do we link all our businesses and marketing bases together, and how do we build a database, right? Those are really the challenges that every business of any kind of scale faces, and those are the ones that we've tried to cram into around about 10 or 11 sessions. So there's a lot of content out there. If you've got a question, go back and watch one of the videos and make an appointment through SBMS and QVM and come and talk to us about one of those issues. So we've covered an enormous amount of ground and an enormous amount of content, and I don't expect anyone to take it all in or to know it all or remember it all, but it is there for you to read, and you have got a system where you can make an appointment and spend some time with an individual mentor. So take that opportunity. When you hit challenges, just remember that you're not alone. This is a bit of two emails, one from 2010 to me and one from yesterday to me. and from a guy who owns a site called The Running Man, fantastic bloke, an ex-policeman, and long before Instagram and all those other kind of health and fitness guru sites, he had a running site, and people used to think no one needed a running coach. You just went out there and put your joggers on and did it. But actually, he had an incredibly successful business, and you know, I've actually had things to do with him for about 13 years. And as you can see, it used to cost $60 an hour to do SEO. Now it costs, you know, it costs about $120 an hour to do SEO. So prices for the services have doubled over the years, but that's not actually that bad compared to everything else. And David's a significantly experienced guy. He's on his third or fourth business. He's now a pool inspector, but he's got stuck. Right? I haven't heard from him for 24 months because my goal was to help David be able to help himself, and he rarely needs any help. But like everyone else, his Google profile says that he's servicing the whole of Melbourne Metro, and he's not, and he can't change it. So he's come to me for some help. And he has been involved and actively engaged in his digital marketing for a decade and a bit. So if you get stuck, don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, reach out and get some help, because we all get stuck and we all get in a loop. And even if we're very experienced, it's, you know, we can't be expected to solve anything. So reach out to people and get some help when you do get stuck. No matter how simple it may be, and no matter how easy the solution is, you should just get some help. Don't leave it. So when we talked about marketing, Christmas marketing, we talked about it being a mindset. And I was thinking about that in the intervening month, and I thought, well, marketing is really a mindset, right? And the mindset is my business, my responsibility. It's about pacing and bracing yourself. And I won't read the whole slide, right? But I will say that pace yourself, brace yourself, understand there's good people out there. If you're feeling overwhelmed by how much there is to do, don't overthink it. Just start with something simple. Just pick a bit of low-hanging fruit. Just do something and the anxiety will pass, right? And I've encouraged people time and time again to recycle. And what I mean by that is recycle your past successes. If something went well or you liked it, do it again next year, right? Or wait a year and do it again. If it went well at Easter, if it went well for a school holidays project, if it went well for a Mother's Day sale, if it went well for a winter promotion or a stock clearance, do it again, right? It doesn't get stale. We are like goldfish. We don't remember what happened last year online, right? No one's going to remember and go, oh, didn't they have that GIF or that image up 2 years ago? Don't worry about it, right? If it works, try it again. It's a really simple way to save time as a small business, and also to keep your content moving. And recycle the free stuff. And I talked about that with QVM. They've got great tiles for the noodle market, the night market, the Europa market, for the classic car exhibition, for the dairy hall. There's free images all over the place, right? And some great content that's out there. Digital assets are like cars. They've got to be tuned, they've got to be cleaned, they've got to be kept up to date. So, you know, diarize some activity in there, right? You've invested money and you've invested time in your digital assets, just in the same way as you invest money, time, and effort in a car. Just treat it the same way. It's a business asset and it needs to be kept fresh. And that's obviously something that a lot of people find challenging to do, because obviously you get in a car, you drive it, and you know we've all got experience with it. But your digital assets are no different. You need to look at them at least once a quarter, and you need to look at them in context of their life cycle, 3-5 years. So yeah, just to have a digital mindset. In the intervening period, I've started work at a new business. So I'm working for a loyalty company in Melbourne, and setting up some of their a rewards office with them. And I've realized that actually some of my goals in this new business that I'm doing a setup for are the same or similar to the goals that affect QVM storehold traders. And that is customer service always wins, product knowledge always wins, expertise always wins out, right? And a unique location and experience also wins out. And in your case, QVM is a unique location and a unique experience. and it's not a shopping center, and it's not a chain store, right? So using your digital assets to get people in front of you will help you win the sale, right? And don't forget that that's probably one of your key aspects of leverage. When someone comes to Queen Vic Market, they get something original, they get an authentic shopping experience, they get to do something which is iconically Melbourne, and they get to meet the actual trader themselves. It's very different from going to Big W or one of the other major national brands, or going to Macca's or going to Kmart Tires, etc. You're having a genuine small business experience. So you've got lots of assets that help to get people in front of you, and we've talked about them, your Google My Business, your QVM page, and things like that. So concentrate on getting people in front of you to make the sale, and concentrate on using your digital assets to help them find you, but also to stay in touch and do repeat sales. So this page is a lot of writing. It's a big red page, and I could have crammed in even more stuff, but Madalen wouldn't let me. And it's what my wish list is at the end of the particular series, right? My wish list is that you use the QVM stuff, that you experiment with some of their programs, such as the gift guide. Some great ideas out there. If you go in the gift guide and it doesn't work, you've given it a go. If you go in the gift guide and it does work, fantastic. If you do a dizzy deal and it doesn't work, so what? Try another one. How about try 2 and see if it works? You've got absolutely nothing to lose by giving it a go, and they have some great ideas and finding out what works for your business. I'd like you to take care of your key assets and keep them up to date. And that's what I mean by keeping them fresh. Just keep them up to date, right? Your QVM page, that's likely to be the most #1 SEO result when someone searches around your business, because QVM are a large enterprise. They're really good at SEO, and your page is likely to show up. So make sure it's really good and keep it fresh, because a lot of them get out of date really, really quickly. Your Google My Business account, it's your key mobile marketing asset, right? It's the anchor point for your Google account. Show it a little bit of love. It's also your key contact finder, and it gets customers offline and in the store. So it's worth it. If you're walking around Melbourne and you're walking up Elizabeth Street, the chances are you've used the map from your Google My Business Finder if they're looking for you in particular. It's got your phone number in if they get lost. It's got your social media links in if it gets lost. It keeps them up to date. So I'd like you to really look at those 2 assets. When you look at social media, that also helps you get found. If you're going to do nothing on social media, keep it up to date or keep it fresh. I want to see 2023 things in by 2023, end of January 2023. But also keep your locations and your contact numbers and your contact details and your brand up to date on social media. It's the absolute minimum you've got to do. It's part of building a network. We used to do yellow pages in the old days, and then people would say, have you also done Thompson's? Right? We had to be in a couple of different places, right? In digital marketing, we need to be in a couple of different places, and social media is one of them. And I'd really like, I guess, to think that there's not a web page out there that belongs to a trader that doesn't have a title, a page title, and isn't missing a meta description. If I could do one thing inside your businesses on web pages, that would be it. And the second thing would be there's no website out there without a site tag on it, a site XML tag on there. They would be my sort of Christmas wishes. And the last wish is that none of you do anything once. And what I mean by that is that you don't just create a collection in Shopify and stick it on a page. You create a collection in Shopify and you work it. You put it on social media. You create a collection in Shopify and you create a post in your Google My Business account. You create a collection in Shopify. If you're using EDMs or email marketing, you send it out to people. So don't use anything once. If you've got a picture, it's a great image, or you've got a great logo or a Christmas logo or a Christmas gift or anything like that, that you're using it. You use it everywhere and you use it more than once. So I'd like to see people working a little bit smarter. Only you can build your database. As a small business, as a trader, that means asking for numbers, asking for phone number, for emails, getting people to sign up to your social media accounts, asking them for reviews. Right? that's a great thing that you can do. Give me a review. If you like the product, give me a review. And make sure that you can back that up, access to doing those things with your signage, your business cards, your receipts, your quotes on your Google My Business page, on your social media page. So people only give you reviews if it's easy, right? If people buy things online, email them back and ask them to do a review. If you give them your business card or your contact card, make sure they can go and do a review. Only you can build a small business database, one conversation and one transaction at a time. So it's important. People in a database, all the studies show, are much more likely to purchase a second time. So you've scored them, you've done the hard work, get their details, stay in touch with them. Talking about web pages, I could do sessions and sessions on web pages, but really the basic Santa message is have an image with an alt tag, make sure there's a call to action, right? What do you want someone to do on that page? And then make sure the engineering is good. Has it got a meta description? Has it got a title tag? Has it got a page name? And have you used keywords, right? That's what I really want to, that's what I want to really see. Don't say about us, say about my jewelry company, or, you know, and then when you get to that page, talk about the name of the business and the location in the about us of where it is at Queen Vic Market. Use some of the keywords. I want to see those sort of things done automatically. Create content. I've covered this already, and I covered it again with in probably about March and again in November. Humans love a list, they love a recommendation, they love a favorite, they love a collection, they love an event aspiration, they love a recipe, right? So when you've got to create content, you don't need to buy anything, you don't need to spend any money, okay? We've talked about creating content using QVM stuff that's out there. We've talked about Upsplash images, and Madalene's made other recommendations for where you can get other free images. You don't actually have to buy anything, you just have to make sure that you use the licenses correctly. If you haven't got anything to say about new products and things, you can communicate and talk to your client about lots of other things. And we talked about trading hours, shipping prices, dates and deadlines, wrapping and postage, value-adding offers that you can do, such as 2-for-1s, which aren't necessarily all about price. And if you've got the time and all the expertise, video, images, and infographics always work, right?
Peter, as far as that's concerned as well, is using Canva is it's also a free app. You get some great ideas, you get great templates. They'll be able to get seasonal templates as well and images. And, you know, so there's the free and there's a premium version. But even with the free version, you can get some really good creative content going on Canva. So I suggest that if they don't have that or haven't tried it, give it a shot. It's free, and it'll give you lots of ideas.
Yeah, thanks, Madeleine. And it's about finding the free systems that you like. Like I use a site called Minify to make my images smaller. There's lots of them, right? I just like it, you know. Just so if you find something you like, use it. But the key focus with this, I guess, is about doing something and finding stuff and doing stuff that is free, right? And creating content. Content builds an audit trail. Content builds a presence online. Content shows your customers that you're engaged, and content helps to build trusts. If you do something on refunds, returns, and exchanges, right, then if someone's going to buy something for Christmas that they're not sure about, that builds the confidence that if they've made the wrong decision, they can come back, okay? If you talk adequately and transparently about it at any time of year, it helps to build trust and confidence in you as a trader, as a person of integrity. The other thing is that celebrate and acknowledge the seasons, holidays, festivals, major events, and things like that. Any of those sort of things are opportunities to create content and also keep your site up to date. It takes 5 seconds. You say have a great Easter to 1 million people over Easter, say it online. So once you create a bit of content, as I've said, reuse it. If you create a collection, put it in an email. If you create a collection, show it on Instagram. If you've got a, you know, if you use Facebook, show it on Facebook. So when you've created your content, that's free, reuse it. That's part of my Christmas wish list. And really, I've just covered what I've just said. This final slide and what I've just said is that when you create content or you create a page, make sure that you then do the follow-up work. Submit the page to Google, link it to social media, put it in your email promotions. If you're using Google Ads, make sure that the ads are based on the keywords and titles that are in and on the pages. If you've got a successful campaign, which is time limited, like Christmas or Easter, you can use AdWords to remarket people who came to the site to see if you're going to get a second bite of the cherry. Particularly effective for things like Mother's Day. Obviously, as the timeline closes on things like Mother's Day and Christmas and things like that, you can tweak your ad for deadlines to try and create a bit of momentum and a bit of urgency in what you're going to do. Don't just set and forget. So again, it's about creating something small, which is a bit of content, and then reworking it. About creating a small page and making it really effective, and then really working it. So that's the message, I guess, that I really wanted to get across to you in the summary. Is don't do anything once, and really work what you've got to the fullest of your advantage. So I guess that leaves me to say thanks for listening. Thank you for the feedback. And I know as traders that Christmas starts in January, or for some people on about the 26th or 27th. And try to keep active digitally and try to keep learning. There isn't a limit. So do what you like, and then if it works, do more of it. So in summary, thank you very much, Madalen, for the opportunity, and have a great Christmas.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Peter. I'm very grateful, and I thank you for the time and commitment that you've not only given to SBMS, the QVM Traders, and in working on this particular series. The key takeaways from this session are really that anything is better than nothing. You know, you leverage what you can that QVM is doing. It's all free content. Know that you're not alone. You can reach out and ask for help at any time. And make sure that you recycle your past successes. You know, with what we've gone through this past year, you can revisit those videos and do the same next year. What's successful this year will also be successful next year. And don't forget, customer service is always going to win. It'll win over someone who is standing there looking at their mobile phone or head down, arms crossed, not really doing any interaction with the customer. And keep your page, your QVM page, up to date. That's a really important one. Showcase your products. Write a good description. It's great for SEO because QVM is a large organisation, and they know what they're doing with SEO and content. So next year we'd like to run some regular short and sharp how-to sessions. For example, how do we get a Facebook pixel? Or how do I set up a MailChimp template? But really, I'd like to hear from you so that we can address the right topics, the things that you want to learn. And then we can produce, we can get you online, we can run those short sessions with you. And we do want to try and keep them short because we know your time is limited. So please send me a note, qvm@sbms.org.au, and I'd love to get a series together next year. Once again, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, everyone at QVM and the QVM Traders, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Foot traffic is back up, so I'm expecting you're going to have a good Christmas and a good break after the traditional trading days. Thank you very much, and take care, everybody.
Thanks, Madalen.